This story is called Harvard's Loss. The president of Harvard University made a mistake by prejudging people, and it cost him dearly. A lady in a faded gingham dress and her husband, in a homespun threadbare suit, stepped off the train in Boston, Massachusetts, and walked timidly without an appointment into the university president's outer office. The secretary frowned. She could tell in a moment that such backwoods country hicks had no business at Harvard University and probably didn't even deserve to be in Cambridge. "We want to see the president," the man said softly. "He'll be busy all day," the secretary snapped. "We'll wait," the lady replied. The secretary ignored them for hours, hoping that the couple would finally become discouraged and go away, but they didn't. The secretary grew frustrated and finally decided to disturb the president, even though it was a chore she always regretted doing. "Maybe if they just see you for a few minutes they'll leave," she told the president of Harvard University. He sighed in exasperation and nodded. Someone of his importance obviously did not have the time to spend with them, but he detested gingham dresses and homespun suits cluttering up his outer office. The president, stern-faced with dignity, strutted towards the couple. The lady told him, "We had a son who attended Harvard for 1 year. He loved Harvard and he was happy here, but about a year ago he was accidentally killed. So, my husband and I would like to erect a memorial to him, somewhere on the campus." The president wasn't touched, he was shocked. "Madam," he said gruffly, "we can't put up a statue to every person who attended Harvard and died. If we did, the place would look like a cemetery." "Oh no," the lady explained quickly. "We don't want to erect a statue. We thought we would like to give a building to Harvard." The president rolled his eyes. He glanced at the gingham dress and the homespun suit and exclaimed, "A building? Do you have any idea how much a building costs? We have over $7.5 million in plant at Harvard." For a moment the lady was silent. The president was pleased, he could get rid of them now. The lady turned to her husband and said quietly, "If that is all it costs to start a university, why don't we just start our own?" And her husband nodded. The president's face wilted in confusion and bewilderment. Mr. and Mrs. Leland Stanford walked away, traveled to Palo Alto, California, where they established a university known as Stanford University that bears their name. It was a memorial to a son that Harvard no longer cared about. Isn't that a lovely story? Just because those two people wore ordinary dress, no one realized that they were millionaires, and so they started their own university. Isn't that so often the case in life? What we are looking for is what we see. Even your bare perception is already conditioned. Even what you hear, or rather what you choose to hear, what you choose to see, choose to feel, has already been filtered by your conditioning, by your attachments, by your desires and cravings. That's where misunderstandings come from. When you begin to understand the way that this cognitive process works, you can understand how we condition even our bare perceptions.